This is the terrifying story of the radio that predicts death. In a small town in Pennsylvania, there was a family who owned an old radio. The strange thing about this radio was that it was almost 100 years old, and it would randomly turn on and play music from the 1930s. But that wasn't the creepy part. The creepy part was that every time the radio turned on, it meant that someone in the house was about to die. It all started when the family moved into their new home. They had no idea that the home had a secret that had been hidden for decades. The previous owner had covered up the fact that the home had not one, but at least two ghosts that made regular appearances, moving objects, shaking beds, and even interacting with people. But the scariest thing the ghosts did was use the old radio. See, the radio was an antique that had been in the house since the 1930s, and the ghosts seemed to really like it. They would use it to play music from their time period, which was how the family found out that the radio was haunted. The first time it happened, they were watching TV and they heard a song playing on the radio. They turned it off and went to bed. And in the middle of the night, they heard the song start playing again. At first, they thought it was a dream, but then they realized that it was actually happening. It turned out that the radio would play music from the 1930s, and then someone in the house would die. Sometimes it would happen hours after the music played. Other times it would happen right away. It didn't matter if the radio was turned on or off. If the ghosts wanted to use it, they would simply make it turn on by themselves. The family tried everything to get rid of the ghosts, but nothing worked. They even tried to sell the house, but the new owner had the same experience. In the end, the family had to move out, and the house was abandoned. To this day, the house is still there, and the radio is still on the shelf waiting for its next victim. Are you scared of ghosts? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure to stay tuned for more scary stories. And with that being said, let's move on to the next story. A man was driving down a dark road when he saw a glowing light in the distance. As he got closer, he realized that it was coming from a house. He pulled over and knocked on the door. No one answered, so he knocked again. Suddenly, the lights turned off. He called out, "Hello?" But there was no reply. He tried the doorknob and it was unlocked. He pushed the door open and stepped inside. As his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he saw a figure standing in front of him. It was a woman dressed in a white gown. She had long, flowing hair and a pair of scissors in her hands. She raised the scissors and brought them down. The man screamed and ran for his life.